After the fall of Rome, life became small and local. Fortified towns rose from the need for protection in a changing world. The absence of central power from Rome led to feudalism. Local lords offered protection to villagers in exchange for loyalty and service. Although the Roman Empire collapsed here, it continued to exist elsewhere. The emperor moved the capital east to Constantinople, a city easier to defend and key to controlling trade between Europe and Asia. For the next 1,000 years, the Eastern Roman Empire thrived across Greece, the Balkans, parts of the Middle East, and North Africa. With the Eastern Roman Empire still standing, the rest of Europe was on its own. Weak defenses allowed Vikings to sail from the north, striking coastal villages and spreading fear, forcing people inland. Later, the Mongol armies from Asia, descendants of Genghis Khan, invaded from the east, reaching the gates of Vienna, bringing a new and powerful threat to Europe's fragile safety. Meanwhile, the Islamic world thrived with strong empires, vibrant cities, and advances in knowledge and commerce. Algebra, developed by al-Khwarizmi in Baghdad, helped people solve problems with money, land, and trade using simple rules to find unknown amounts. Europe's second largest city after Constantinople was Cordoba, the shining heart of Islamic Spain. It was a center of learning with grand libraries, beautiful architecture, and breakthroughs in science, medicine, and philosophy. Christianity grew stronger as a unifying force across Europe, guiding daily life and preserving knowledge through monasteries. While Christian monks kept Roman ideas alive, Europe slowly began producing new inventions. One of the most important was the printing press, created by a German man, Johannes Gutenberg, which spread knowledge faster than ever before. As Islamic empires expanded across the Mediterranean, they took key Eastern Roman territories, weakening the empire politically, economically, and militarily. Eventually, the Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople, fully ending the Eastern Roman Empire. One symbol of European resistance was Vlad the Impaler, a ruthless ruler in the lands of Wallachia, who fought to stop Ottoman expansion. His brutal tactics later inspired the legend of Dracula. With Constantinople renamed Istanbul, the Ottomans now controlled important trade routes. This limited Europe's access to Asia and pushed Europeans to search for new trading paths across the ocean, starting a new era that would reconnect the world. Over in the Americas, there were thriving civilizations. Their ancestors had crossed the land bridge from Asia to Alaska thousands of years earlier. Since then, they had no contact with the outside world. The Maya tracked the stars and created precise calendars. The Inca built vast roads across the Andes Mountains and cities like Machu Picchu. The Aztecs built the grand city of Tenochtitlan, filled with temples, markets, and canals. Europeans were looking for new trade routes to Asia. At this point, ships had advanced significantly, as well as navigation techniques. The magnetic compass was discovered in China during the Iron Age, but wasn't used for serious navigation at sea until now. After a long sail across the ocean, the Europeans stumbled upon the Americas by chance. Using their superior technology, the Spanish and Portuguese took control of Central and South America, while the British and French watched in envy, before turning their attention to the north. In Europe, society was waking up. New ideas were spreading, inspired by ancient knowledge. People began to question old beliefs, explore science, and celebrate human potential. This was a time of rebirth in art, learning, and imagination. A rivalry was brewing between two great geniuses of the Renaissance. Michelangelo sculpted the mighty David and painted the Sistine Chapel ceiling, while Leonardo da Vinci created the mysterious Mona Lisa, detailed drawings of the body that advanced human biology, and designed flying machines centuries ahead of his time. During William Shakespeare's time, England was still a small kingdom finding its voice. His plays captured the spirit of a nation beginning to explore the world, expand its navy, and imagine a larger role on the global stage. With new telescopes being built, space was finally within reach. Galileo Galilei improved the telescope, making it powerful enough to study the stars. He discovered that the moon was covered in mountains and craters. He found 4 moons orbiting Jupiter, proving that not everything revolved around Earth. This was a major turning point. Earth was no longer seen as the center of the universe. Galileo had changed how people saw the world and their place in it. This spirit of curiosity and reason was spreading fast. Soon, it would spark further inventions and revolutions, changing not just ideas, but everyday life. People began to move into cities because new farming machines were taking over work once done by hand. The Industrial Age was born alongside the rise of the First British Empire. Morning routines involved washing with cold water in a shared family space. Toilets were often shared between neighbors in simple wooden structures outside the home. Breakfast was simple, a bowl of porridge, bread and tea, enough to begin a long day of work. As Britain expanded its power overseas, their colonies in North America grew rapidly, building towns, farms, and trade networks that laid the foundation for a new society. But as the colonies flourished, many began to seek independence, leading to the birth of a new nation, the United States of America. While a new country was taking shape across the Atlantic, France was reaching for the skies when the first manned balloons lifted off, marking the start of human flight. Napoleon Bonaparte led the French Revolution. At Austerlitz, he defeated the Austrian and Russian armies in one of history's greatest military victories, expanding French influence across Europe. He introduced bold ideas about law, governance, and equality, challenging old monarchies and spreading new ways of thinking about freedom and order. France also pioneered the world's first photograph titled "View from a Window." The sunlight appeared to hit both sides of the buildings because it required a long exposure of around 8 hours. Nearby in Austria, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's music brought joy and emotion to every corner of society, blending elegance with imagination. Ludwig van Beethoven followed with powerful, dramatic compositions that captured the spirit of a changing world. The Second British Empire was rising. The United Kingdom opened the world's first public steam railway, connecting Liverpool and Manchester. A journey that once took days now lasted just a couple of hours. It also launched the first Atlantic steamship, designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. shrinking the ocean and connecting continents like never before. By this time, the British Empire spanned 5 continents and controlled nearly a quarter of the world's land. As telegraph lines stretched from Britain across the oceans and into Asia, the world grew more connected, shrinking distances through dots and dashes. Meanwhile, a dramatic encounter was unfolding. American steam-powered warships arrived on Japan's shores. After 200 years of isolating themselves from European influence and Christianity, the Japanese were shocked by the gap in their technology and were forced to reopen the country to international trade. Paris began raising a structure meant to be temporary. An impressive arched gate for the 1889 World's Fair, where countries showcased their latest inventions. Featured were breakthroughs now common in daily life: the telephone, the safety bicycle, and the first practical car by Carl Benz. Though originally meant to be dismantled after the fair, the Eiffel Tower proved invaluable as a radio antenna and grew into an iconic symbol recognized worldwide, lasting for generations.
My thanks I give, fair friends and kin, for journeying through the world we've been. Now close thy eyes, let dreams take flight, until we meet in next stage's light.